that I had to take the bone from his eat and left and eat it. Because I was desperately hungry. He was nowhere to be found. When I called him, no answer. So I had to use my survival mode. Welcome to the Oasis, a safe space, Holy Spirit-led intervention for healing and empowerment.
Hi, welcome back. We have been talking about abuse. Guard yourself against abuse. And interestingly, we have been looking at this topic in a very interesting time because abuse is not common to any particular ethnic group. It's across all borders. And for the last couple of weeks, we have been talking about basically what is abuse. We talk about it's a control, anything that is used to cause intimidation and fear. And we spoke about also the signs of abuse. We talk about the types of abuse. And today we're going to talk to one of our sisters who has been through and has actually has overcome. Welcome, Sister Garcelle.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, God, it's so sweet to have you. I know we talk about other matters, and today you're going to hear about all that she has been through and more. So today, guys, tell us, how did it start? What did you notice to figure that you were in an abusive relationship?
Okay. So my abusive journey began when I was at a place where I didn't really know who Garcia was. I didn't know myself. I'm coming from a broken family. I didn't have strong family background. And those who were living with me within the family setting got disintegrated real quickly. So I just went out searching for attention and love. I was going church, but I was playing church. You know, it's not something I am happy about, but it was a case where even though I was going church, no one really saw that I was crying out for help. And so that's how playing church come about. I would leave church and go to the rum bar because I needed something to, you know, give me that tranquility to at least sleep at night. And so that's how I met this person. And, you know, we didn't talk much, but he knew something was wrong. And so he would always show up for me. But little did I know, I was perhaps a prey, you know, within his sight. And so he would show up for me, take me on more drinkings, which even though I know the drinking was hurting me, caused me a lot of headaches, pain, even to throw up at times, I would still go for it because he gave me that company. He gave me what I was, or what I thought I was missing so the friendship continued until, you know, I realized that he began to just get territorial overnight. We hadn't made a formal agreement, you know, or so to say, okay, I'm your boyfriend, you're my girlfriend. No. But he just got so territorial overnight to a point where I didn't know how to get out. And one of the things he would use to control my mind was, I was there for you when you had nobody, so you have to stay with me. You know, no one else will love you. No other man will love you the way I love you. And so even though I know what I was receiving from him was not love, I believed him. And that's one of the things that abuse does. It manipulates you so much that you believe a simple lie. And yes, so I believe that so much that, listen, nobody will love you the way I love you, and you can't leave until I say when. Now that, I think, was the most scariest, but I was so submissive to it and to him because, like I said, I had no one really. I couldn't run back to our family and say, or call somebody and say, I need help, you know, help me get out of this. No, he knew everything about me and what I was missing, especially within the home. He kind of gave me, and so I somehow thought that, listen, I owe this man my life. And even though when the hurt was so vivid, you know, when the emotional abuse was so vivid, I didn't even notice then that as an adult, I could be whenever I was being neglected, that was abuse. So even when his neglect were so vivid. I couldn't leave. I couldn't plead my case. I couldn't even argue about it. I had to just sit in the state that I was at, can't come out, can't cry for help, but just sit in it. Yeah.
Interesting. But question for you, you spoke about the emotional abuse. Tell us a little, talk to me about some of the signs you noticed. You speak about neglect. But talk to me a little about some of those actual things that you noticed you were experiencing or were actually meted out to you during this period of abuse.
Okay. So I didn't know a lot of persons. Most of the persons I knew were through him. And so when we went out, he would introduce me to somebody. And if I, reach out to shake, especially a man's hand, he would curse at me. You, whatever, you're flirting with him. And, I wasn't, But if I smile with someone, you, whatever, you're smiling, smiling with him, that means you want to go and cheat on me, you want to this, you want to that. And I'm like, no. So it got to a point where when we do go out, even when he says, meet my friend or meet my girlfriend, I would just sit and nod because I was so fearful of what the outcome may be. If I cried around him, I was deemed, ugly and stop the crying and, you're an idiot and stuff like that. I never got, that type of emotional support. But like I said, even though I realized that this is not for you, I just couldn't get out. Yeah.
It's a good point to really ask another question. You said you could not get out. Why do you think you could not get out of it?
Right. So during that period, I couldn't get out because one, he filled me so much with fear. And one of the things that kept ringing in my head every time I see him or think about, leaving was when he said, if you leave, I'm going to kill you. Wow. If you leave me, I'll kill you and I'll kill your family. Yes. And so that got me real fearful. Another thing was he would always say, nobody needs to know our business. Wow. So even when I want to call for help or just, call to even share my story with someone, I would remember his voice. You can't tell anybody our business. And as such, my cell phone was searched on a regular basis. He would, manipulate me so much to say, oh, I have friends at Digicel and they will give me a recording of your phone calls or text messages. So I used to believe that. So I dared not call anybody or text anybody because at that time, my mind was so captivating by his lies, deceit, and, to believe that if I text somebody and say help or I want to talk, he would know. Because there are days when he would come in playing tricks on me and say, who you called today? I'm getting that report and so try to tell me. So sometimes I even lie on myself and say, I called only one person, but I didn't say anything. Sometimes I don't even remember who I spoke with. But just to be on his good side, I better not say anything to anyone, even when it was evident that something was wrong. Even when person saw me and said, wait, what me to your face? I'd say, oh, a bump in the wall. And they would say, oh, a strong wall. But I dare not say this is what is happening because I believed his lie that he would kill me. And because I didn't want it to die then, I had to just get in my corner.
You spoke about your face. Were you exposed to physical abuse?
I was.
Talk to us about that.
I was.
Because you mentioned the phone, and we know that is digital abuse when your phone you're not allowed to use your phone freely, or there's restrictions where your phone is. So talk to us about the whole matter of the physical abuse.
Right. So there were days when sometimes I would find just a little bit of strength to argue back with him. And in doing so, well, the repercussion of that would cause me to get a box down, fist to the face, shove wherever and shove down on the bed, on the floor. And as if that wasn't enough, it would lead to rape. Yes. So it was very hard. There were days after going through all of that, I just wanted to die because I'm like, well, Lord, since I can't leave him, or since I'm so fearful to leave him, God, just kill me and done, you know? And there were days when all of that would happen and he would have his way and go. Yet still, the mind is such a powerful thing, because when he would finish assaulting me, abusing me, and left, I was so fearful I'd never dared go through my door and scream for help. So I would be behind my door, crying. Sometimes I get so numb, I just lay there, waiting for death to happen because I just couldn't take it anymore, you know? But nothing that I yearned for to escape or to just cut my lifespan short, nothing would happen. So I used to go through that a lot. You know, the punches, the shoves, the yanking on my hair, the cursing at me, everything. Yeah.
How long were you in that relationship for? Can you recall how long it was?
Yes, it lasted close to 10 years. Close to 10 years. And I know persons may say, you know, why is she staying that for 10 years? Listen, when I'm not afraid to say no, because now I know who I am. So the Garcia then did not know her self-worth. And because I didn't know my self-worth, and I kept believing a lie that no one else will love you the way I do, and even though I know what he called love was not love, I still believed it. Another thing that plagued my mind was, after going through so many stuff, nobody else will really love me. I don't want another man to know that I've been through all of this. And thirdly, I was really scared and hated men. So I just stood where I was in that position for almost 10 years.
10 years of pain and 10 years of hurt and bitterness. And as we looked at the types of abuse, our sister has been through physical abuse, emotional, sexual, digital. Were you felt like, what about your finances? How did that go?
Oh, Lord.
But that's another type of abuse.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us about that one.
So there were days when I, especially if I put up a resistance to, you know, not lay with him, or let's say Mother Nature happened and I can't do what he wanted, I would deem like a nobody, and he would left, knowing that I don't have any money for food. And even if I call him, he would not answer. And again, because he kept, his voice kept ringing in my head to say, nobody should know about our business. And if you tell anyone, I will know. So I'd be in my little room, hungry for days. I remember there was this time, I was really, really hungry. And I kept calling, and he wouldn't answer. And I started crying, and I didn't even know that tears could fill me up, because I cried so hard to the point when I was finished crying, I felt full. I don't know what that was, but I felt full. But there was another day, I remember I had just, you know, little grains of sugar left in the cupboard, and some small amount of flour. I don't know where I got that recipe from in my mind, but at that time I had to kick in my survival mode. And so I kneaded that flour combined with sugar and water and steam it. Like, I made it like a roti thing and just steam it, and I had that with water. Because he was nowhere to be found, and I was hungry. So I was locked away in a world where I couldn't cry out for help. I was not allowed to have friends. I was not allowed to tell anybody what was happening to me. And so I had to just survive off whatever it is that I could. I was telling one of my friends that the back of the bread that I normally discard, that became my dinner most nights. Yes, that became my dinner. I remember there was this night where he came in, and he was having jerk chicken. He was having jerk chicken. I wasn't feeling well, so he ate the entire thing, didn't leave any for me. And when I got up the morning, he left and I was home. And I was so hungry, then, when I got up, I was hungry and there was nothing for me to eat. And I had no other choice than to turn to the leftover jerk chicken. And I'm a person that loves bone. I love the bone part of meat. But I wouldn't eat it from anybody, But I was so hungry that I had to take the bones from his eaten left and eat it. Because I was desperately hungry. He was nowhere to be found. When I called him, no answer. So I had to use my survival mode and eat his leftover bones.
Wow.
Yeah.
My sister would just want to encourage you because, abuse is a real thing. It is not a figment of our imagination. It is real. I want to encourage you to talk about it. Let us come out of the closet. It's time we talk about abuse because too many of our sisters are hurting, they are being killed, and they are being shut down and locked away in this cage, believing that nobody else loves you, nobody will love you, and believing that this person has so much control over you that your life is shut down. I want to thank you. We're going to go take a break because there's part 2 coming where our sister will speak about how she actually got out of this situation. Stay tuned. We're coming right back to you next week.